exiting White Springs, heading towards the Stephen Foster Park. So we'll be walking through there first. I showed you guys, I gave a pretty detailed tour of that place in my last video. So you guys saw what that was all about. Beautiful area. And we'll be walking through there shortly. And there's the Sulphur Springs, which I showed you guys in my last video. There's actually some parking over here to the left if you wanted to do a day hike or something. So down there is towards the museum. But today we're gonna stay on the Florida Trail. So we're just staying left right along this paved road. Get a nice view of the Carillon from here. And here's the gazebo area overlooking the Suwannee. And then going down the cabin road access, which is Florida Trail as well. So the trail goes right behind some of these cabins at the park, which actually look very nice. I almost considered staying here. And then it takes a sharp left towards the river. For today, I'm going to aim for about 15 miles-ish. It depends on the weather, because apparently today we're supposed to get some stormy weather in the afternoon. Potential thunderstorm, lightning, some rain. Although the rainfall does not look like too much, but I wouldn't mind being under a shelter in my tent when that rain passes through. So that's why I left early today, which was not the original plan, but I've had to change my plans a few times because of weather. So we're trying to get ahead of it, get shelter before that rolls through. And I think that puts us, if I estimated this correctly, that would put me about 15 miles in for the day before that storm hits around maybe 3 or 5 p.m. But, you know, if it stays nice like this and clear, then maybe we could push a little bit more. I'm not sure. But I do have a particular mile marker in mind that I'm shooting for today. I think I should get there before the weather turns, but we'll find out. That's always a variable. But other than that, it's actually a beautiful morning. Probably mid to high 60s right now, which is perfect temperature for me hiking. And the scenery is absolutely amazing. Walking right along the Suwannee again. I think I've been pronouncing that river name incorrectly. I almost decided not to hike this river section from White Springs to Ellaville because I saw that you could actually kayak or aquablaze this section. I stayed right near the American Canoe Association, and I was, potentially looking for a ride somewhere, but they were actually pretty expensive, but I think reliable. They were super friendly. They did mention that some hikers in the past, just to get off their feet, kayaked from White Springs to Ellaville, which I thought was interesting. It's about a 50-mile stretch of trail. Not sure how many days that would have taken me, but I don't know, 50 miles in a boat floating down the river with the current, maybe a couple days. I'm not sure how much it was, but I know the ride, the shuttle service was $100 minimum. Like, that's what it started at. So I don't know how much it would have been to add, a kayak for a couple days, but I thought that would have been a really cool alternative to walking this section. But I decided against it. I also wanted to experience walking this entire section as well. And plus, I think it would have been pretty expensive. I would have had to have, stayed an extra night at the Airbnb I was at, and then the kayak plus the shuttle, that probably would have added up pretty quick. So if you had a group of hikers with your group of people, I think that would reduce the cost. But maybe someday in the future, I'll come back and do that adventure. Because I also see that this river goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. And that would be quite the journey, paddling from White Springs out to the ocean. That might be on the channel someday. The Suwannee river section has been, at least for me, the best, most scenic hiking I think I've done on this trail. So definitely, if you're gonna walk any section, I think it would be this one. So I've been getting a few comments saying how low this river is. I mean, this is my first time seeing it. So I'm assuming it's probably right up to this edge usually, because you can clearly see the shoals. And judging by the messages and comments I've received, yeah, this is definitely very low. This is the Suwannee Overlook campsite. Plenty of room here. Even got benches. If you're missing a jacket, it's there. Yeah, this is nice. Very flat. And the trail just kind of spits you out into people's backyards. It looks like. I was not expecting this. It just opened up. Turning back into the woods. This is Swift Creek campsite. Benches are set up perfectly for a seance. It's a pretty neat area. Wide, flat, open. Looks like someone had a campfire there. It has just been perfect conditions this morning. We are walking over Swift Creek. Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful. Water looks pretty clear. Had to come down to the river's edge, fill up with some water. This is flowing nice. That, my friends, is some pretty damn clear flowing water. Damn, this is a pretty steep drop into a big old gully. This is deep. This would be tough to pass if it was a wet season. Got a little A-frame to go up and over this barbed wire fence. Going under Interstate 75. This is a main highway that runs through the state of Florida. We got another A-frame to climb up and over to get out. This is perfect to make breakfast or lunch, and then I can sit right over there on that log. I swear, I was just like thinking to myself, and I asked the universe to provide, a tabletop of some sort so I could eat, and sure enough, this turns up 5 minutes later. That was a great little rest stop. Had some food, and now we're back to moving. Oh, looks like it continues over there. Should be able to just kind of boop, boop. Okay. Got a nice lookout point here. This is a big ass uprooting. Looks like we go down and then, oh, up the stairs. Whoa, whoa. Wow. All the way down at the bottom of the ravine. And then, looks like we're going right up here. Oh. Oh. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. Oh yeah, feel the rain. It is a-coming. The rain is here. It'd be nice if a shelter just magically popped up right here, so I could get out from underneath this storm that's a-brewing. So it's coming down. Not too bad, it's a little light right now, but it seems like it's picking up a little bit over these next couple minutes. I saw some people caught in the river canoeing down there. That's gonna be tough out in the open. You'd have to paddle to shore to find shelter, but I'm gonna put my phone in my plastic bag so it doesn't get wet. Real quick, I had to show you guys this. I have like a little shelter here under the tree. It's actually staying pretty dry. And as you can see, the bark is pretty dry, so I'm just chilling out here. Just like that, the rain has stopped. Sun actually trying to peek out. I see some blue sky over there. But I think this is just a lull in the storm, because I do see some gray clouds further back there that still need to make their way over, I believe. But I ended up not making it to that camp yet before that storm came in. That was the goal. Just about 2 miles from there, so just missed it, but hopefully we can make it there in the next hour or so before this next patch of storm cells pass through. But I think this is what I needed to test out my raincoat and my rain system. I'm like a little bit wet. I think my gear remained pretty dry, and everything inside my bag is bagged in another bag, like very water resistant, water protective bags. So I think my electronics are fine. This plastic bag worked out great for my phone. It's just the rain jacket. I still wet it out through the damn rain jacket. Of course, I got rid of my poncho at the last, I think the last hotel or the last 0 day I had, because I just think I didn't need it and I thought I'd be fine with the rain jacket. But I think this is what I needed to kind of stress test my rain gear, and so far, I mean, I'm not really loving the rain jacket because it gets too hot if I wear it underneath my bag, and if I wear it over my bag, kind of like I am right now, kind of like a half poncho, that did kind of keep things dry, but I didn't, it didn't keep the front of me dry like my pants. Like my pants got absolutely soaked. So if I had the poncho, I believe that would have covered the whole front and back and everything. I think the only reason why I got rid of the poncho is because it was, it was extra weight. And I just, I hadn't really had to use it up until this point. So of course the time I get rid of it is when I need it. But I thought, the poncho would get snagged on stuff, but it did fit pretty good. So I think I may have to make a repurchase there and switch out this rain jacket for the poncho, because I don't know, not loving the rain jacket that I have. Oh, I was so close to this shelter too. The G spot. Damn it, another shelter. Of course, I pass by them when it's not raining. And just as I was about to get up and leave, the rain has started up again, but fortunately, I am nice and dry under the shelter. So this did come in handy, stopping here for a minute. Woo, that's coming down. Okay guys, I think I have some good news. The worst of the storms is behind us. I just checked the weather channel, the radar, forecast, and it looks like we're having clear skies until about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. tonight. So I think my plan has changed. Instead of staying at this campsite, which I thought I was going to have to do because of the impending weather, which has just bypassed us, I'm just going to collect and filter some water there at the spring and then continue onwards and see how far I can get. Now I'm shooting for, I think, roughly between 6 and 8 more miles today, since it's only 2 p.m. There's some nice properties here. Beautiful cabins, and they're all connected by like a sky bridge. What a tease this would have been if I got to this shelter and it was pouring out. There's no roof. Looks like I made it to the Branch Creek campsite. This is what I was aiming for. But actually that shelter turned out to be a lot better. Now, looks like I continue this way, but I think I hear some water over here that we can scoop. Okay, so I just went a little bit north off the actual trail and I found these steps. I just followed the sound of the water, and this looks like a good place to fill up. I like to collect from the streams flowing into the river because these are a little bit cleaner. Back on trail after filling up at that Crooked Branch Creek. That was great. That water tastes really good too, and it's very clear. This is cool. Get a big old beach to yourself. This is pretty sweet. Not sure if that would have held me. Didn't really trust it. And here's the famous old US 129 bridge that everyone takes a picture on. Oh. Here it is with all the graffiti. That bridge is a very popular place. There's people camping under it. There's people walking over it. People just chilling out there, taking pictures. So I forgot to mention, if you kept going down across that bridge, you would eventually reach US 129. And then at the end, there is a convenience store that you can resupply, get food, etc. But fortunately, I don't need anything, so I didn't have to make that trek down there and back. This is a bit of a situation. I believe I need to get across there. So you either take the log, you walk through the water, or you do some hopscotch on those smaller logs. I might opt for the bridge log. Did it. Didn't film it because I needed full concentration on that one. Whoa. It was a little bit slippery. We are crossing under the US 129 bridge. Looks like there's a sleeping platform here and a couch, a pull-out couch. So off in the distance, you can hear the faint sound of music. I believe there is a music festival going on at the Spirit of the Suwannee, which is a campground right across the way, right off of US 129. This section is definitely a little more overgrown than what we just went through. So north of US 129, I mean, there's a clear trail. It's just a little bit more narrow, a little more debris in your way. I can definitely hear the music now. Feels like we're a lot closer to it. There's some saxophone, some drums. Sounds like they're rocking out over there. I'm telling you, some of these properties here are just blowing me away. Someone's definitely been here before me. They're probably just up ahead of me. This 79th road turns into a muddy little mess after a rainstorm. Finally made it to the end of this road and turning back into the woods. I'm assuming all these ravines were full at one point, but have since dried up due to this major drought that we're having here in Florida. And a picnic table. Just can't get any better than this. We'll set up right here, call it a day. We got the tent all set up, overlooking the river. This is gonna be a very peaceful sleep. I ended up putting some leaves here to kind of help prevent the dirt or the sand from getting in the tent. I don't know, kind of acting like a mat. I'm not sure if that'll work or not. I guess we'll find out. That was about 23.5 miles on the day. So that was a lot bigger than I anticipated, but I knew I wanted to get to this spot to sleep here, and then that way got less miles these next couple days. Can kind of take my time. All right, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching.